Okay, so this is what I've been going on for the last few days. Pretty much all I've been doing is all the wiring, labeling every single sensor that I pull off. That way I know where everything goes back together. But that's really all I've been doing. I got all the motor mount bolts out, the one for the transmission, the bell housing bolts. I'm going to pull the engine and trans all together. Pretty much disconnecting the whole wiring harness. The exhaust is what was giving me some trouble. I was able to get 3 of them out easily. 2 of them gave me hell, and then 1 of them it just didn't come out, so I ended up having a sawzall, and I'm gonna have to probably replace the header on this side, probably replace both of them while I'm at it. But if you can see, there's quite a bit of corrosion inside the water pump, and if you can't tell, this water pump has actually been replaced. I actually replaced this water pump about 3 years ago, so it's a fairly new water pump. I did use the correct coolant in it, but I don't know, I bought this thing used. It had 100,000 miles whenever I bought it, so I don't know what condition how the driver maintained it before me. But anyways, I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up replacing this 5.3 and going ahead and replacing the 4L60 and swapping for a 6.0 with a 4L80, the 4L80E. And I'm also going to go ahead and have the engine cammed. They're going to do new push rods, lifters. They're going to go ahead and change the rear main seal, all the seals in it pretty much, and then the timing chain on the new motor that I get. So I think that's what ended up happening. This thing it doesn't have that many miles. Well, to me it doesn't. It's got 144,000 miles. But I think since it's gonna go full out pretty much on this truck, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a bigger motor and just replace it and go ahead and have it not completely rebuilt, but kind of like freshened up, and then just do a mild cam in it. I'm not gonna do nothing too big, but I think as of now, I pretty much got everything. Everything's disconnected, even the drive shafts out of it. And I think all I have to do left is the fuel lines. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. And then it's kind of late in the day today. I probably won't have enough time to actually pull the motor out, because I want to kind of have it over here somewhere. I'm going to have to move some of this stuff out of the way. And that's about it. And then the motor's ready to pull. Once the engine is out, I'm probably either gonna start on the chassis, doing the front upper control arms and all that good stuff, and then after that moving into the interior, start taking the dash out, pulling all the harness off of that too, pulling the firewall, the insulator off the firewall, because I'm gonna have to cut farther up into this, because once it lays out, it's gonna be on 26s, so it's gonna need a pretty good amount of trimming. I have to find a hydro booster. That's not gonna work anymore. I'm gonna have to find a hydro booster. So like I said before, these are the wheels are gonna be running. The 26s, the 26x9 is in front, but either way, it's gonna have to have a pretty good amount of the firewall cut and replace that booster for a hydro booster, which runs off the power steering pump. Honestly, to me, I know some people this may be overwhelming, but to me it wasn't that bad. There's really, I think, 5 main harnesses. One comes through that 5 main harnesses that plugs into the fuse box, and they're all connectors like these, and they just bolt to under the fuse box. One harness comes from the cab. One harness goes to the chassis. I guess this would be for like your fuel pump, and then some of the ABS stuff in the back, the brake lights and all that good stuff. The other harness is for the engine, and then the last harness goes to the radio support for all your airbags, the headlights and radiator fans and all that good stuff up there. And really 5 main harnesses, and then just unplugging everything off the engine. I pretty much got everything labeled. I mean, it really wasn't, to me, it wasn't that many cables. It's just, it took more time actually labeling them so I know where they go back than to actually take it apart. But like I said, this thing is ready to pull, and like I said, I think I'll probably do that tomorrow, and for sure that I'm gonna time lapse. So if I did, here is gonna be here up in a second. Okay, so it's been about a week since I started. I worked on it the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I didn't work on it Sunday, and then Monday afternoon after I got off of work till today, which is about a week later, Thursday afternoon, to the point where I'm ready to pull the engine out. Pulling the engine and transmission together. I already went ahead and took the bell housing bolts off. Or not the bell housing bolts, the torque converter bolts. So if I ever need to take the transmission off from the engine, all I need to do is do the bell housing bolts. The exhaust, remember, I had to cut because that one nut that I couldn't get off. I got the other ones fine. I got the other ones off just fine. But I actually don't know what I'm going to do with this engine. There's really nothing wrong with it, but I got talked into just going ahead and replacing it. So I'm gonna set up my phone here and get ready to pull the motor. Tomorrow I'll probably gonna work on the doors, get the doors off. That way I can have better room and access to start taking the dash apart. And then Saturday, I don't know if I'll work on it on the truck itself, because I'm gonna be going to pick up the new engine and transmission. So for right now, I'm gonna focus on trying to get the engine out this afternoon. So let's see how this goes. Let's see what kind of a mess I can make. Alright, so there it is. I got the motor out. That's probably all I'm going to do for today. I thought it was going to take me a little bit longer of the time, but here's a better look. You can see that bolt that I struggled to get out. That thing just completely stripped out, and that was the only one that I couldn't get out. But I think now everything's good. I thought I was going to have to take out that transmission cross member, but luckily I had positioned the chain in the correct spot and I didn't have to do that. It pretty much lifted up pretty level, so it all came out pretty even. I think that's all I'm going to do for today, and then tomorrow, like I said, I'll probably pick it back up and start on the cab, take the front doors off for better access, and then work on the dash. And then let's see, probably do and then I'll probably do the steering rack. Go ahead and pull the booster and the master off. I'll probably just pull the master off, that way I don't have to disconnect any of the brake lines, which I'm gonna have to do either way to do the front suspension, and then do the AC stuff and all this other stuff in the firewall. But like I said, I'll probably start on the inside of the dash, that way I have access to some of that heater core stuff and the booster bolts, and then that way I gotta pull all that firewall stuff off. I know you probably don't have to do it, but I'm probably gonna have to cut pretty far up into this firewall because it's gonna be on 6s, so I'm not gonna take that risk, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take the dash off and pull the insulator back. That way nothing catches on fire. But so far we're still in phase 101 of how to ruin your truck, and phase 101 is the teardown. Had a perfectly run new truck, phase 101. We're still in 101 because we're still tearing it down. So once we actually start building something, we'll move on to phase 102. So we'll pick this back up tomorrow. I think I'm done for the day. Okay, so it's Friday afternoon. I think today today I'm gonna start working on the dash and pulling the front doors apart like I mentioned before. I've already started kind of on this door. I got it taped up because I don't want to get in any scratches or dents more than what it has already. So this weekend, like I said, I'm gonna start pulling the front doors off, kind of to give me some better working room so I don't have to open them and close them so much. And gonna pull the front seats, the console, and pretty much everything on the dash. That way I can start pulling that insulator off the firewall. Depending on how much I can get done, that's probably what I'm going to be doing all this weekend. And if I get far enough ahead, I'll do the rear seats. And actually also, if I get a message back from my guy, I'm going to go pick up the new engine and transmission for this thing. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the transmission should mount in the same place, but I want to be sure. I'm going to have it here for when I build a new frame. That way I know where to install the new transmission cross member. So this weekend I'm going to be working on pulling the dash. I'm going to pull all the dash, pull the carpet out, pull all my amplifiers that I have on the floor, the rear speaker. I don't think any sheet metal work is going to have to be done to the floor, but I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out of the way because I'm probably going to just go ahead and replace the carpet because it's pretty bad in some spots. The passenger side is not that bad, but the driver's side is. I'll probably replace the carpet. I might pull down the headliner so I can sound in that. I didn't have any sound in there whenever I did the headliner. I should have ordered some. So I'm going to do that, sound it in the roof, go ahead and sound it in the floors, the back of the cab. The back of the cab I'm not sure because I have some plans that I want to do back there. And then once I do the tubs in the front, I'll be able to also do the sound deadening on the firewall. Let's see what else. And then once I get the cab detrimmed, I'll start working my way back and then get the bed off, find a place to store my hood and the bed and the cab. I'm probably going to be taking it to where I work and just storing it in our lot. I think after that I should be good, and I should start finally be working on the frame and pulling the brake lines, the fuel tank, and the differential, and taking the differential to get narrowed. And I think that's about it. It's not much, but it's just going to take a long time.